Spiritual Gumbo. Back to the basics. Last shot before the review. We're in chapter 11. I just pick right up. And all the earth was one lip, and there was one language to all. And it came to pass, as they moved from the east, they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And a man said to his neighbor, Come, let us make bricks, and bake them with fire. And the brick was to them for stone, and their mortar was bitumen. And they said, Come, let us build to ourselves a city and tower, whose top shall be to heaven. And let us make to ourselves a name, before we are scattered abroad upon the face of all the earth. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the sons of men built. And the Lord said, Behold, there is one race, and one lip of all, and they have begun to do this. And now nothing shall fail from them of all that they may have undertaken to do. Come, and having gone down, let us there confound their tongue, that they may not understand each the voice of his neighbor. And the Lord scattered them thence over the face of all the earth, and they left off building the city and the tower. On this account its name was called Confusion, because there the Lord confounded the languages of all the earth. And thence the Lord scattered them upon the face of all the earth. Stop right there. The Most High God, based on the people who were born at a specific time, who went on to have a certain number of children, broke those people up into the groups that I just read about in the chapter before. So much so that in the days of Eber, the earth was divided. In the days of Eber, they were building this tower. In the days of Eber, men were scattered over the face of all the earth. Verse 10. And these are the generations of Sem. And Sem was 100 years old when he begot Arphaxad, the second year after the flood. And Sem lived, after he had begotten Arphaxad, 500 years, and begot sons and daughters, and died. And Arphaxad lived 135 years, and begot Canaan. And Canaan lived, after he had begotten Arphaxad, 400 years, and begot sons and daughters, and died. And Canaan lived 130 years, and begot Salah. And Canaan lived, after he had begotten Salah, 330 years, and begot sons and daughters, and died. And Salah lived 130 years, and begot Heber. And Salah lived, after he had begotten Eber, 330 years, and begot sons and daughters, and died. And Eber lived 134 years, and begot Peleg. And Eber lived, after he had begotten Peleg, 270 years, and begot sons and daughters, and died. And Peleg lived 130 years, and begot Regal. And Peleg, after he had begotten Regal, 209 years, and begot sons and daughters, and died. And Regal lived 132 years, and begot Saruk. And Regal lived, after he had begotten Saruk, 207 years, and begot sons and daughters, and died. And Saruk lived 130 years, and begot Nachor. And Saruk lived, after he had begotten Nachor, 200 years, and begot sons and daughters, and died. And Nachor lived 179 years, and begot Terah. And Nachor lived after he had begotten Terah 125 years, and begot sons and daughters, and he died. And Terah lived 70 years, and begot Abram, Nachor, and Haran. Stop right there. Not only could I contend that the wives of Sem, Ham, and Japheth, one of those wives lived a very short period of time, and the children, once they bred with that bloodline in particular, it drastically shortened their lifespan on this earth, as all the other lifespans were shortened after breeding with this bloodline. No one could know. Also with that, did anyone catch how when Terah was 70 years old and he begot Abram, Nachor, and Haran, did you notice that that's like begetting Sem, Ham, and Japheth? Only he's not 500. He's 70, but he had triplets. Come on, let's keep it pushing. Verse 27. And these are the generations of Terah. And Terah begot Abram, and Nachor, and Haran. And Haran begot Lot. And Haran died in the presence of Terah his father, in the land in which he was born, in the country of the Chaldees. And Abram and Nachor took themselves wives. The name of the wife of Abram was Sarah, and the name of the wife of Nachor, Malka, daughter of Haran. And he was the father of Malka, the father of Jessica. And Sarah was barren. And did not bear children. And Terah took Abram his son, and Lot the son of Haran, the son of his son, and Sarah his daughter-in-law, the wife of Abram his son, and led them forth out of the land of the Chaldees, to go forth into the land of Canaan. And they came as far as Canaan, and he dwelt there. Stop. Did you notice that he didn't take Nachor with him? I want y'all to understand, epic, huge, something of an epic proportion went down. For Abram to not take vengeance for his brother, but to go back and rescue his nephew, it really seems like these guys were on the run, and Haran got killed trying to protect his family, more so than Abram and Nachor overwhelmed him. You understand what I'm saying? That could be the case. I have to go off on that tangent and break it down to you, because Lot, if you read later, we're about to read in the chapter, it's called Abram's brother. But we have to recognize that if Lot looked just like Haran, then guess what? He looks just like Abraham. And Abraham and Nachor and Haran are triplets. Okay. So that means that the Moabites and the Ammonites look like who? Okay then. With that said and put forth, I have to read this last part to you. And all the days of Terah in the land of Canaan were 205 years. And Terah died in Canaan. And that's the end of the chapter. I'm not going to go forth into the next part. But I will say this. We are out of the basics. We're not back to the basics anymore. Okay? Now we're into the actual story. So it'll be whatever I can think of that will be satisfactory for the next umpteen chapters until we get to the Exodus. As we get to the different stages of the scripture, the lessons change. The meaning of them change. I'm not going back. I'm not backtracking. Demetrius has taken his time to read this to you, to put it out to you. If you can't accept it for what it is, I'm sorry. Spiritual Gumbo. Out.